So what's going on here is if they can force ExxonMobil to embrace global warming as a matter of law in its reports with the SEC, in its reports to its investors, with its auditors, then game is over. Because then we have the companies in this country that produce fossil fuels having to buckle under. So in a prospectus and other information that they provide to investors, in their press releases, in their boardrooms, in their seminars, their lawyers are going to have to make sure that whoever speaks for the company or on behalf of the company or has some connection to the company embraces global warming, the left's agenda. Because you see, if they don't, then the damage that's being done by the company is being withheld, you see, concealed from investors, concealed from the public. The global warming damage caused by these companies who bring us gasoline and oil. And they will be fined, and they will be prosecuted. People will be indicted. So they treat it just like another crime. That's what's going on. That's why this is nefarious. It's diabolical. It's unconscionable. This is how they advance their agenda. Whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the boardroom, whether it's in the union hall, the halls of Congress, the halls of the bureaucracy, the halls of a courtroom, this is what they do. They use government to crush us, to smother us. Kenneth Cohen, Vice President for Public Affairs at ExxonMobil, said today that the company had received the subpoena and was still deciding how to respond. So New York, this clown, the Schneiderman, the Attorney General, he issues this massive subpoena, runs to the New York Times, leaks it to them, or somebody in his office does. The company's lawyers haven't even had a time to read it and digest it the next morning. And there's the New York Times, mouthpieces for the left, the Praetorian Guard media. Well, what's your comment, ExxonMobil? Well, we haven't had time to look at it. And yet the New York Times had it the night before. Mr. Cohen said, we unequivocally reject the allegations that ExxonMobil has suppressed climate change research. What if they had? Who gives a damn? The people with knowledge of the New York case, this would be the Attorney General's office, also said on Thursday that in a separate inquiry, Peabody Energy, the nation's largest coal producer, has been under investigation by the Attorney General for 2 years over whether it properly disclosed financial risks related to climate change. That investigation hasn't been previously reported and has not resulted in any charges or other legal action against Peabody yet. So now, if you do not accept this phony religion called climate change, institutionalize it within your business, use it in your public filings, you're committing some kind of crime. Does this concern you? Vic Svec, a Peabody senior vice president, said in a statement, Peabody continues to work with the New York Attorney General's office regarding our disclosures, which have evolved over the years. They're buckling under. They're trying to survive. This coal company, Peabody Energy, is under assault in every direction by the EPA, by the blue states. And what do? They create electricity. Well, we can't have that now, can we, ladies and gentlemen? We're all supposed to walk around with battery-warming socks and propellers on our head. The ExxonMobil investigation might expand further. Notice how the New York Slimes has access to every single piece of information and information that isn't even out there yet about what the prosecutors are thinking. Absolute complete hit job. Oh, they want you to hate ExxonMobil. Let me tell you something. Without ExxonMobil, you go cold. It's that big. It's that important. These people have destroyed our healthcare system. They've destroyed our immigration system. They've destroyed the value of the dollar. You may not feel it today, but you will one day. They've destroyed NASA. They're destroying our police departments. They're destroying our military. Now they're going to destroy our energy companies. Here we are on the precipice of so-called energy independence. They're attacking fracking. They're attacking these companies with the global warming crap. The regulations are just pouring out of the EPA and the Interior Department to try and smother advances, technological advances, because these people are hateful, poisonous ideologues. They reject capitalism. They despise our way of life. Oh, don't get me wrong. They want to live well, but it's you. You're destroying the planet, don't you see? And so developed countries, I've explained this over and over again, it's in plunder and deceit, must become undeveloped. And the major way you do that is to attack fossil fuels. to keep natural resources in the ground. The ExxonMobil investigation might expand further to encompass other oil companies, according to the people with knowledge of the case, though no additional subpoenas have been issued to date. The people spoke on condition they not be identified. The Martin Act, a New York state law, confers on the Attorney General broad powers to investigate financial fraud. You know, I believe the state Senate in New York retained its Republican majority. Now, what the hell are they going to do about this? Mr. Schneiderman's decision to scrutinize the fossil fuel companies, that's plural, may well open a sweeping new legal front in the battle over climate change. This is exactly my point. Of course it is. They are sitting down with these radical environmental groups, both homegrown and foreign-grown, and they are at war with capitalism. They are at war with the private sector. They are at war with energy production. You got to believe me, folks. It's going on right now. To date, lawsuits trying to hold fossil fuel companies accountable for the damage they are causing to the climate have been failing in the courts, but most of those have been pursued by private plaintiffs. This is the same thing they want to do with the Second Amendment and guns. Hillary Clinton talking about they want to destroy the companies, the producers of weapons, the producers of ammunition. This is how they advance their cause on same-sex marriage, through the courts, through threats, through attacks. This is how they always advance their agenda. Attorneys general for other states could join in. Now they're encouraging. See, this is what I mean about these debates and everything. The New York Slimes, the pathetic Washington Compost, which would have been broke by now had it not been for Bozo, the guy that runs Amazon, talking about ideologues like me and other talk show hosts. You talk about ideologues? You read these newspapers? Well, actually, you don't. They are pathetic. This is a press release for the Attorney General of New York. More than that, they're encouraging other states, hey, get in on this. You know, just like the tobacco suits, get in on this. Just like the EPA suit that brought all this about in the first place. Get in on this. Meanwhile, when it comes to sanctuary cities, they won't follow the law. Those states, those mayors, those city councilmen should all be prosecuted. They won't follow the law. So they nullify the laws they don't want, and they concoct new laws to advance their ideology. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to listen to me. I know there are others who want to put smiley faces on everything. I know there are others who want to tell you our best days are ahead of us. I am telling you right now, you are watching the unraveling of this country before your eyes like it's never happened before. Not because of ISIS, not because of Al-Qaeda, not because of the communist Chinese, not because of the fascist Russians, not because of any of them, but because of the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party doesn't believe in America. The Democrat Party doesn't believe in capitalism. The Democrat Party doesn't believe in national security or national sovereignty. It doesn't believe in law and order. It believes in order. It's order. It believes in coercion. And it demands adherence with it. Leftism, liberalism, all eventually evolves into statism, a more and more aggressive form of coercion. That's what you're seeing. These companies will have to buckle under. They're going to force them to buckle under, or they're going to break their backs. Or they'll bankrupt them. That's what's going on right now. All these companies endlessly spending money to defend themselves, whether it's Obamacare, whether it's Dodd-Frank, whether it's the IRS. Just trying to do business in this country is becoming impossible. It's becoming impossible! Attorneys General for other states could join the New York Attorney General, Mr. Schneiderman's. I wonder if he wears black socks when he's having sex too, Mr. Producer. Like the other idiot. What was his name? Spitzer. Oh, yeah. You never know with these attorneys general in New York. Bringing far greater investigative and legal resources to bear on the issue. This is the New York Slimes urging them. Some experts see the potential for a legal assault. Listen to this. A legal, using military terms, an assault on fossil fuel companies similar to the law. Did I not predict this? Similar to the lawsuits against the tobacco companies in recent decades, costing those companies tens of billions of dollars in penalties. Here's a newspaper that's excited about it. Well, maybe we ought to shut down the friggin' newspapers. They're just corporations anyway. This could open up years of litigation and settlements in the same way the tobacco litigation did, also spearheaded by the attorneys general, said Brandon Garrett, a professor at the University of Virginia Law School. In some ways, the theory's similar. Yeah, the public was misled about something dangerous to health. Whether the same smoking guns will emerge, we just don't know yet. What smoking gun? Climate change. Oh, look at this in their file. We found some idiot 14 layers below in the basement who said, look, I sent a memo to the chairman of the board of ExxonMobil, and I told him about climate change, and I attached some articles to it. Oh, yes, I did. I attached some articles to it, and they wouldn't listen to me. Then dragged them, Dragged them in front of a Democrat Congress. Drag them in front like there's some war trial going on. Are you aware of this memo? March 12th, 2011. No, it says it was sent to you. No. Did you not see the phrase global warming in there? No. How about climate change? I may have. Do you know what your company's doing to this country? Do you know what it's doing to the ozone layer, to our soil, to the children's future? With your pollution is creating climate change. You aware of this? No, I was not. I want to remind you, you're under oath. Yes, no, I know that. Then you'll have the slip and fall lawyers. Yes, the Democrat lawyers who make a fortune off of everything. They have homes lining up at Palm Beach, West Palm Beach, facing the ocean. What's that guy do? What did he produce? Oh, he was involved in the tobacco litigation. For several years, advocacy groups, a.k.a. left-wing commie groups, with expertise in financial analysis, have been warning that fossil fuel companies, see, we can't even call them oil companies, gas, this is the language, this is the Marxist mentality. Fossil fuels. Oh, you mean oil and gas? No, fossil fuels. Fossil fuel companies might be overvalued in the stock market since the need to limit climate change might require that much of their coal, oil, natural gas be left in the ground. Do you see why I'm spending so much time on this? This will directly affect your life. The sources. Oh, yes, the sources. The sources said the Attorney General's investigation of ExxonMobil began a year ago, focusing initially on what the company had told investors over the course of decades about the risk that climate change might pose to its business. News reporting in the last 8 months added impetus to the investigation, the sources said. February, several news organizations, including the New York Slimes, reported that the Smithsonian researcher who had published papers questioning established climate change, Wai Hak Soon, had received extensive funds from fossil fuel companies, including ExxonMobil. What's wrong with that? While they're buying the science. Wait a minute. They need the science. You see, ladies and gentlemen, the only noble, honest scientists are those who are paid off by the federal government, or those who work for these left-wing, commie, little phony environmental groups. That's the only real science. You can fund them with government money. They push their agenda. The UN pushes their agenda. Oh, for the people. So compassionate. What do you do for a living? Listen, I fight pollution. I really do. What do you do for a living? I work for Exxon. Say what? Yes, we produce something. The left produces gas, but a different type. We actually produce real gas. Gas that's useful. Oh, more recently, Inside Climate News and the LA Slimes have reported ExxonMobil was well aware of the risks of climate change. So here we go. Off to the races. They want to rape these companies, defund them to the extent that they can. You watch how the United States Justice Department gets involved. They're going to shake them down for every penny they can, hundreds of billions of dollars. You'll be paying for this. You already are. They'll give it to these left-wing groups and to the government, and this is never ending. It is never ending. Mark, what do we do about it? Well, of course, we elect John Kasich. That'll fix everything. Support Mitch McConnell. Keep reading the Wall Street Journal editorial page. And watch our favorite cable channel. Everything will be fine.